The biggest celebrity court battles of the last decade. Who won and who lost? The last 10 years have seen some of the most explosive star court cases in public. These have ranged from high-stakes defamation suits to billion-dollar divorce settlements. Do you ever wonder who won and who lost? Stay tuned as we go into detail about the most shocking court cases involving Hollywood's biggest stars. These cases not only changed the stars' lives, but they also changed the entertainment business forever. Which side do you think won these fights? The defamation drama between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. The legal dispute between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard continues to be one of the instances of defamation that has received the most attention and generated the most controversy in recent times. As a result of allegations of abuse coming from both parties, the relationship between the former couple had deteriorated. The divorce petition was submitted by Heard in 2016, and she also obtained a restraining order against Depp, saying that he had committed domestic violence. In response to the allegations, Depp stated that Heard was the one who had abused him. When Johnny Depp filed a lawsuit against the British tabloid The Sun in 2018, he was accused of being a wife-beater in an article that was published in the newspaper. In 2020, Depp was unsuccessful in his attempt to win the libel action because the court determined that the claims that were contained in the article were substantially true. Because of this, Johnny Depp's reputation took a huge hit, and as a result, he was removed from a number of high-profile film roles, including his participation in the Fantastic Beasts trilogy. Despite this, Depp was not yet fulfilled. In 2019, Johnny filed a defamation lawsuit against Heard for the amount of $50 million. The case was based on an opinion piece that she had written for the Washington Post. In the piece, she portrayed herself as a victim of domestic abuse, but she did not specifically name Depp. A court trial in the United States was held in 2022, and it was broadcast live to millions of viewers all over the world. As a result of the jury's decision, Johnny Depp was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages, which were ultimately reduced to $350,000 due to the limitations imposed by the state legal system. It was widely believed that Depp was the winner despite the fact that Heard won $2 million in a countersuit. There was a substantial amount of public criticism directed towards Heard, but Depp's reputation appeared to have been somewhat recovered despite the intricacies. After losing the initial libel claim in the United Kingdom, Johnny Depp was able to win the defamation lawsuit in the United States, which was considered a significant triumph. Britney Spears and Conservatorship, a battle for freedom from conservatorship. The legal struggle that pop icon Britney Spears fought to escape her conservatorship, which had lasted for 13 years, emerged as a worldwide cause célèbre and sparked the #FreeBritney movement. As a result of the conservatorship, which was initiated in 2008 following Spears' public mental health crisis, her father, Jamie Spears, was given the authority to manage both her personal life and her financial situation. Spears continued to perform and generate millions of dollars in revenue while remaining under this conservatorship for more than a decade, all the while asserting that she was being abused and controlled. In 2019, Spears began exploring legal action to have her father removed from his post as conservator, which ultimately culminated in a high-stakes legal battle in 2021. This brought the problem to the attention of the general public. As part of her compelling testimony in court, Spears disclosed unsettling information about the limits she was subjected to. These facts included being compelled to work against her will and being stopped from removing her intrauterine device, IUD, in order to have more children. Outrage spread across the world as a result of her testimony, and calls to end the conservatorship were renewed. During the course of several months of legal battles, a judge ultimately decided to end the conservatorship in November of 2021, thereby releasing Spears from her confinement. Britney Spears has been granted her freedom and the support of millions of admirers, which is a stunning triumph for her. Scarlett Johansson and Disney controversy regarding streaming services. In 2021, Scarlett Johansson engaged in a legal battle with Disney that took the entertainment industry by storm. The publication of Black Widow, a Marvel movie in which Johansson starred and produced, was the source of contention amongst the parties involved. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Disney decided to release the picture simultaneously in theaters and on its streaming service, Disney+. Johansson's contract with Disney included bonuses that were related to the film's box office performance. However, Disney chose to release the film concurrently. Johansson filed a lawsuit against Disney, claiming that the simultaneous release lowered the amount of money the picture made at the box office, which resulted in her losing millions of dollars in bonuses. In response, Disney issued a statement in which it described the lawsuit as sad and distressing in light of the circumstances surrounding the pandemic. The company also suggested that Johansson was indifferent to the global catastrophe. As a result of the litigation, significant questions were raised regarding the impact that streaming releases have on the income of actors and the future of movie contracts. Despite the fact that the terms of the settlement were not made public, some with knowledge of the situation have speculated that Johansson received a sizable payoff, which is apparently more than $40 million. The verdict is that Scarlett Johansson has achieved a victory that is not noticeable but significant, and it marks a shift in the way that streaming arrangements are negotiated. A divorce of $1 billion between Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. During the year 2020, the hip-hop mogul Dr. Dre and his estranged wife, Nicole Young, became entangled in a protracted divorce fight. This divorce was one of the most expensive and controversial splits in the history of celebrities in recent times. After 24 years of marriage, Nicole Young filed for divorce, stating differences that could not be reconciled for 2 years. However, the conflict swiftly escalated into a dispute over the $1 billion fortune that Dr. Dre possessed. Young demanded spousal support in the amount of $2 million per month and accused Dre of engaging in financial impropriety. Responding to Young's allegations, Dre denied any wrongdoing and asserted that they had a prenuptial agreement. In the beginning of their marriage, Young asserted that Dre had ripped up the prenuptial agreement, but Dre maintained that it was still valid. This disagreement was a source of contention between the two parties. A judge issued an order in July 2021 that required Dr. Dre to pay spousal support in the amount of $300,000 per month. This was a considerable amount, but it was significantly less than what Young had initially demanded. In December of 2021, the pair entered into a settlement agreement in which Dr. Dre agreed to pay Young $100 million. This marked the conclusion of the lengthy court battle that had been going on. Dr. Dre was able to keep the majority of his billion-dollar empire, despite the fact that the conclusion was expensive but manageable for him. Scooter Braun and Taylor Swift. The controversy over the master's praise. The conflict that took place between Scooter Braun, a music businessman, and Taylor Swift regarding the ownership of her master recordings ultimately became a defining moment in the discussion regarding the rights of artists. Large Machine Records, which was the owner of the rights to Swift's first 6 albums, was purchased by Braun in the year 2019. Swift's fury stemmed from the fact that she claimed Braun had harassed her for a number of years, and that she had not been given the opportunity to reclaim ownership of her own work. Swift's charges, on the other hand, were seen to be overblown by Braun, who maintained that the acquisition was a typical business practice. Swift took matters into her own hands by stating that she will re-record her first 6 albums, so recovering ownership of her work in a completely different format. In a profession in which artists frequently have little control over their own products, the move was a strong statement that came out of the industry. The re-recordings that Taylor Swift has released, which she has referred to as Taylor's versions, have been commercially successful, and she has urged her fans to listen to these versions rather than the official versions. While Braun was able to win the battle for the master recordings legally, Swift was able to have the final say thanks to her re-recording technique, which also offered other artists the opportunity to express themselves. If you don't want to miss out on more deep dives into celebrity drama, legal battles, and everything in between, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Stay updated with all the latest stories right here.